Good afternoon. It's April 28th. It's election day here in Canada. I hope anybody that's Canadian that's watching this has voted the correct way, which is, of course, the way that I would vote. I'm going down, all the way down to South Albert today, because I dropped the car off there this morning, and now I'm going to pick it up. It's about 9 degrees, so it's cool. Sunny, though. A bit breezy. Hope I'm warm enough. I'm just wearing my sweatshirt, one of my sweatshirts. I have more than one. And when I get back, I have to almost immediately go to the gym, my scheduled workout, and yeah, there goes the day. Spent this morning mostly working on page proofs for the next book I'm publishing, Cupboard Love, a dictionary of culinary curiosities. The authors had a look at it, and so now I've got his corrections. And then it goes to the printer hopefully next week. That actually will be out at the end of May, so better go to the printer next week. Has to, in fact. Yeah. In fact, I should try to get there by the end of this week. Put it off to the printer. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing on Angus Boulevard here. I have to remember when I come back, I can't drive up it though. They're digging a hole where the rain gets in. Over there. Some infrastructure-ish thing, I guess. Sidewalk, I think, is closed too, so that's annoying. On both sides, too. Alright, well, that just added unnecessary distance to my walk. But unfortunately, there's no way through. There's an alley back behind these houses, but short of walking between the houses, which they probably would frown on, doesn't do me any good. Someone said hi, but it's really bright, so hello, whoever said hi. I can't read your name. I knew the road was blocked back there, but I didn't know the sidewalk was too. I wouldn't have come this way. Well, wouldn't have made much difference whichever way I came. There's an alley there, but I don't know where it goes. I think it's a dead end. It just goes behind these houses and doesn't go through anywhere else. Anyway, I'm going to cut through the kitty corner on this bit of parkland here by the grasshopper. Created by local artist Wilf Perot. Now, I don't know where these people's yard ends and where the public lands begins, but I'm cutting across anyway. There's the grasshopper, all lit up at Christmas time. And now, as the greenery grows on it, it turns green like grasshoppers are supposed to do. RB. Walking down this side, we'll see all the campaign signs. But I'd rather walk on the other side because they're not quite on top of the traffic like this. Once I get across the bridge, we'll cross over to the other side. Seems to be some sort of narrowing of the lanes up here, too, for some reason. At the moment, I'm moving as fast as the truck next to me here. The end of this week, I go up to Saskatchewan for what they're now calling PopCon YXE. Used to be called Sask Expo. Comic Con style convention. Where I sell books for 2 days. Hopefully I probably won't make any money, but hopefully at least break even in its marketing. I even got a bit of a grant for marketing books for Saddlepaw Press, and this is part of what I applied for. So, I could cross here if it made sense, but know that it does. Can't really see the cars coming. I'd still have to wait for this light. Anyway, if we go over the bridge, we can see what the river's doing. Legislative building over there, of course. Not a cloud in the sky that I can see. Hey, one interesting thing I did over the weekend was, and it all ties into walking in Regina, because I live streamed and recorded the Canada Day fireworks from Willow Island, right over there. Usually we're on this bridge looking that way. The guy from Paradise Fireworks, which kind of Saskatchewan's only fireworks presentation company, contacted me if he could use some of the footage, and I said, sure. And then he said, hey, would you like to see us, come over onto Willow Island in the restricted area? Get a look from over there next time. And I said, sure. Well, you have to take a government-mandated fireworks safety course. So that's what I did on Saturday. It's 2 hours. It's a course, and at the end of it, we wired and set off little 2-inch shells. And I have a certificate. I could actually work as a fireworks assistant, but I have no intention of doing so. There's the creek. Still flowing fairly enthusiastically down there. Probably let up some now because it's been a while since the big melt, but there's still lots of water flowing. Lots of foam. Flying Canadian flags on the bridge right now. They change depending on what special month or whatever, something that might be being recognized. I think the default is Canadian flags. Maybe it's Canadian flags because it's election month, I don't know. I think this is about a 40-minute walk. I'm hoping it's no more than that. I'd like to have time to get the car washed on my way back too. I do have to get over to the gym by 3 o'clock to, because I have no, you schedule your workout, and I don't want to miss that. Well, frankly, I'd be happy to miss it since I don't really enjoy exercising, but no, I will be there. Now, I would like to cross over here, so I think I'll press the button and wait at this intersection. It's just a bit more interesting, and you can get further away from the Albert Street on the other side here. Construction ends. I could have started walking faster than 50 kilometers an hour, but it seemed unlikely. Oh, I thought it was going to be closer to change than that. Vanishing points. The whole perspective thing you learn in art is very, very apparent in Saskatchewan. It's our turn. There's the lake. That's all we'll see of it. I'll go down this very long, straight bit of sidewalk here for a bit. Then I'll go over a little bit more that way once we get up to the next corner, just to get further away from Albert Street. Or I could just walk along here for once, but it's not as scenic, so I don't think I will. Although you can look at the big houses on the other side a bit. There's always cars zipping by too. It'll be warm enough. It's quite warm in the sun. It's just in the shade and with the breeze, it feels a little cool still. Turn here, we'll get a good look at the Legislative Building. Slide will be short, so it'll probably change before I even get to the corner here. Yep. Some sort of construction going on over this way too, but hopefully it doesn't interfere with my walking. There you go. As we get past the signs, a nice view of the Legislative Building, the west wing of the Legislative Building. Over here is the Provincial War Memorial. Names of Saskatchewan residents killed in World War I, World War II, Korean War, Afghanistan. Sidewalks on the other side here, though. I don't see any construction, despite the sign saying construction. Trying to walk fairly briskly, too, to minimize the length of this walk. If I can get back. So if I start panting, that would be why. I don't think I will. All right, say goodbye to the Legislative Building as we carry on. Next up. Oh. Yeah, there's a fountain. It's not running. Didn't think it would be. Those things usually don't start up till sort of Victoria Day weekend. That's kind of the start of summer things. It's still spring, but right now it's still like it's going to be -3 tonight, so still freezing at night. That's a nice fountain to sit around and contemplate while you're having lunch or something once it starts running. Not so much now. Oof. Ground is more uneven than I thought. Then we get a row of government office buildings. Each one named after a different former premier of the province. and my microphone is still there. The imaginatively named Avenue B, although the street we're walking along is called Memorial Way because of the war monument back there. There's a few other things along here. Sure what she was carrying. First we get the Walter Scott building, named after the first premier of the province, who's also the guy who is responsible for the building of the legislative building, and who I have portrayed once, oddly enough, for the Hill Company's centennial, quite a few years ago now. I wrote a speech in the guise of William Scott as if he were a time traveler who had come to present-day Saskatchewan. I did it here, and they even flew me to Calgary to do it there, where I got to make fun of who was the premier at the time? Ralph Klein, I guess. He was in the audience, and I got to make fun of Alberta a little bit in a good-natured fashion. Anyway, here's the Walter Scott building. The glass part, obviously, is not original. That's when they added more accessible access a few years ago. Has a chairlift in it. I can never remember the name of the next one. Morn? Somebody? I've been in all these buildings at one point or another for this and that. Government printing office used to be in the Scott building. I don't know if it still is. I was down there once. And I did some work for the environment department. And they had their offices in the next one coming up, so I was up in there. Oh, I don't know if I can read anything or not here. Well, yeah, I hope people enjoy it. I would do the walking anyway. This is just a way to make it more interesting. And have enough subscribers, it's monetized, so I make sometimes $10 or $15 a month. Less recently because I haven't been as active, so fewer videos means fewer dollars. But the difference is, like, instead of making $15 a month, I only make 10. So it's not the end of the world. Now that I'm monetized, I should find some way to make stuff that draws in thousands of viewers, and I could get rich, but I don't know what that would be. A little too old to be an influencer. So we're paralleling Albert Street down there, but we're just about a block off here in the park. Saskatchewan Center, specifically. What is this? It's the... I've talked about it so many times, and every time I look at the name, and it never sits in my head. One of the premiers I don't know as well, I guess. Walter Scott's the only premier I've ever portrayed on stage. I did portray Queen Victoria once. It was for humorous purposes, you understand. So I'm about 3 times her size. And a lot deeper voiced. Well, I don't know what her voice was, but being male, I suspect. It was for a show called Regina Revisited, which was written by Lloyd, that's the right. It's the Lloyd, Walter Lloyd. Walter Lloyd, Lloyd Place. Ow. Great, now I got something in my shoe, poking my foot. It's annoying. I want to stop if I can help it. Walter Lloyd? Anyway, Lloyd. It wasn't Walter. Premier Lloyd. Next one I know, that's the T.C. Douglas building. I think it has the health department in it, primarily, and also it's home to McKinsey Art Gallery, which is one reason why as we go by, you will see some artwork. I like this building's design quite a bit. Very reflective of the prairie. And those terraces have plants on them once they turn green again. So it gives you a kind of very bluff, I guess, effect a little later on in the spring and summer. So look down once in a while because geese have been all over this sidewalk, as they have in most parts of the park. Try to read the Yes, it's about as clear and blue as it gets. Not a cloud that I can see anyway, even on the horizon, as much as I can see of the horizon. Look up, look way up. So McKinsey Art Gallery is in here. There's the loading dock, you can see. Main entrance is around, the whole building is around here. Ooh. Okay, this will be the end of the park at the next intersection. And we got 3 or 4 blocks of other stuff, and then we hit the commercial stretch, which will take me down to OK Tire, which is where my car is. I don't know if I'll have time for that car wash or not. We'll see. Not that I'll be live streaming that, so you won't know. Suppose I could live stream the car wash, but don't think I will. Don't have any way to put the camera on my dashboard. Oh, certainly plenty of people have cameras on their car, in their cars, but I've never done that. See some more artwork up here. And here's the, well, I'll turn around once I'm off the road. There's this side of the Douglas, T.C. Douglas building with the McKinsey Art Gallery sign as well. A bit of artwork. I'm sure there's a plaque somewhere, but I don't see it handy. I can never remember what it's called. Oh, here it is. It's called Please Do Not Climb on or Touch the Sculpture. I guess that's not the name. A lot of sculptures are called that. Here's some Joe Fafard cows. He died a few years ago, but I kind of knew him and went out to his foundry in Pence once. Saw how these things were made. He's quite famous, especially for his cows that are on display in the financial district in Toronto. Probably where his best known cows are in Canada. We have a few prints and very small laser cut pieces by him. We don't have a cow. It's way too much. We have some small cows, actually. Very small. All right, this brings us, once we cross this intersection, we will be out of West Canada Center. Shouldn't be a long wait. It's already turned red going the other way. No wait at all. This is Regina Christian Schools. It was, I think somebody told me it was a theological seminary once or something like that, or a boys' school. Anyway, Regina Christian Schools in here now. They're doing Annie, it looks like, according to their poster here. Signboard. Now accepting applications for fall. There's the number to call if you're interested. And the website. Annie. Next up, of course, is their playground. And there's a lot of green space here. The high school on the other side of that green space. Is it Leboldus? I should know, I can't remember for sure. There's Leboldus up in the northwest. I've been there a couple of times when Alice was doing improv. They would have their city finals there, or district, whatever it was. And her team, went to nationals and placed second in Ottawa. And she was in grade 12. And the team from Luther just went to nationals again for the second time in a row, this same team this time, current team, and they placed second again. Or placed second. They were fifth last year, second this year. So, all with the same coach, Ron Duick. Mr. Duick, who clearly knows something about teaching improv. I didn't get to see it live, but it was live streamed. So I remember watching the performance, and my wife actually had reason to be in Ottawa for an engineering meeting, Engineers Canada meeting, and she got to go to it in person, so she was really lucky. She got to see Alice in Into the Woods at the University of Toronto too. I had to wait and watch the recording much, much later. Well, from here, probably only about 20 more minutes to go by these retirement residences. They're all called Marion, this and that, because there used to be a girls' school here called Marion. None of these buildings were part of it, but it was all on this patch of land. We got Marion Park and Marion Chateau and some other Marion things. That's why they're called Marion. Marion Grande. Marion Park. Marion Chateau is a higher level of care. Maybe not quite a nursing home, but close to it. Marion Chateau. Respite and trial stays available. Well, it's certainly my intention to never end up in a place like this, but you never know. Hopefully it's a couple of decades away before I have to worry about it. Marion Chateau. They do have a certain Swiss chateau look to them. Mm. Some kind of work going on down there too. It's the season for it. Cleaning up the grass over there. Another sign of spring. I want to get somebody in to clean up our yards soon. So do it before the grass really starts growing. Well, this one we didn't hit at a particularly good time. Okay, just a few more blocks and we'll be down at the end of Albert Street here, which is where OK Tire is. This used to be a Safeway, but now it's a co-op pharmacy and has a YMCA childcare. Alice went to YMCA daycare, but it was in the downtown YMCA, which is no longer active. It was very handy for us because it was just a few blocks from our house. And she's there right through kindergarten. And then Davin School had its own after-school program called Dragon's Den. And we got her in there, so she was there for a few years. Longer than she would have liked to have been, I think. But it was very helpful because, I wasn't always home and Margaret Ann works full-time, so it was very helpful to have some place like that she could just go after school and do things. Original Joe's. I don't know what they call this place now. Spart Setters, which is really dull and boring. Used to be called the Golden Mile Center. Why is the flag at half-mast? Oh, probably for the Vancouver attack on the Filipino festival. That's probably what that's for. There's an Indian grocery store over there. India Market. There used to be it's still here, Robin's Donuts. At least the sign's still there, but it actually doesn't look like the place is there anymore. Opening soon. Paddy Wagon. Knocking up your hunger. I guess it's a new restaurant going in where the donut shop used to be. I think it was a Robin's. Western Pizza here I've been to many a time. It's a popular place for after-show get-togethers. It has a large room that can fit a big cast, and it serves pizza. That's kind of the two things you want. I guess we haven't been there for a while, but we used to go there quite a bit after shows I was in. Or even shows I wasn't in, because as a life member of Regina Lyric Musical Theatre, I get invited to opening night receptions. At least I used to. This is a vacant lot. As you can tell, it's been vacant for so long that now it seems to have turned into a pond with birds in it. Oh, well, they're planning to build something here, but I think this sign has been here a long time. A very, 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 very boring office building. There's like 50 buildings that look just like that in Regina. I don't know who designs them, but it's a very bland and common look. Field Inn and Suites here. Has a pretty good English pub in it called London Bell that I've eaten at a few times. KFC over there. I haven't had Kentucky Fried Chicken in years. Years. Used to have it more often in Weyburn, which is the only one I think in the country, and if it's still going, it still is. It has a buffet on Sundays, and so people would go there after church. My mom liked it quite a bit in her later years. Great English food. Kind of an oxymoron, but all the great English food in London is ethnic more than English. And at this point, a curry is English. Should be. It's been popular among English people for a long time. Better than traditional Scottish food, which, as I was told when I was there 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 45 years ago, traditional Scottish food would be a lump of haggis, a lump of turnips, mashed turnips, and a lump of mashed potatoes. So I have had haggis. I didn't hate it, didn't love it, but at least I can say I ate it. Royal Hotel. Used to be called something else, been in there quite often. This place, which now is a credit union and a lingerie shop, and it used to be Blockbuster. Back when we used to get our videos that way, where technology changed and did them in. And Crocus and Ivy coming up next. Used to be Book and Briar Patch, which is a great independent bookstore. For a while, maybe they still are, they were still serving as a wholesaler for school orders and things like that. But I miss the old Book and Briar. There was a coffee shop attached to it, so we would come, and when Alice was little, after dance, and have a cinnamon bun and latte. She'd get a very small helping of latte with lots of milk and sugar. She'd look at books, and we'd have a good time. It's been gone a long time, the bookstore has. Another hotel that's had various names. The Knotted Thistle Pub. It's always had seemed to have some sort of faux Irish pub in it, which I like to say. Two stories I know about the Irish pub here. One was when Alan Doyle of Great Big Sea was on. They were on their first sort of driving across the country tour before they were famous. I think it was here that he was asked by a female RCMP officer if he wanted a bunny hug because he was cold. He didn't realize a bunny hug was an item of clothing in Saskatchewan. And then the other one is, that's the Irish pub where I had most of a pint of Guinness spilled on me while we were there watching the Arrogant Worms perform. We'd actually left the symphony early so we could come see the Arrogant Worms, and then I got Guinness spilled on my suit. I was quite dressed up for the symphony. So I wouldn't say good times, but memories anyway. I was there quite a few times with Alice because it's popular for kids' birthday parties because of the water slides. I don't think we ever hosted one of hers there, but I took her to several that were hosted there. Burger King, I can smell it from here. Am I doing time-wise? Should only be 10 minutes, so about what I figured. Don't know if I'll have time for the car wash, though. Probably don't. Probably have to get back so I can be ready for my work out. I'll have to make a special trip down for the car wash at some point. Quite sure what all this is in aid of. Blocking the sidewalk. And Morton's always a popular place. Always people in the lineup. Drive through. I don't care for Tim Hortons all that much. It's not bad, but I don't go out of my way to go to one. Lots of people do. It's better than Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks coffee. We have the keg here. One of the kegs, there's more than one. There's the keg, this keg. There's another one up near the warehouse district, corner of Dudney and Albert, which I've walked by a few times. And there could be another, there could be more. Those are just two I know of. That's a popular steakhouse chain in Canada. I don't even know if it goes beyond Canada, if it's just Canadian. The things I don't know would fill a book. Probably more than one. Speaking of boring office buildings, there's Cow Tire over there. I remember buying a tire there once. Nothing against them, it just never came up again. Well, gas station, convenience store, and car wash, but not the one I would be going to if I had time, which I really don't think I do. A big gas station. Lots of bays, or slots, whatever you call them. Sure, there's some gas station official jargon that describes them as something. I wouldn't think they'd call them bays because that implies a garage space. So something else I don't know. That's two things in one day. Here's A&W. India House here, which once upon a time was Earl's. Earl's is now, have we gone by it already? Yeah, I guess we've already gone by Earl's. It's on the other side of the street, a ways back. Come try our chicken crunchers, it said. I don't know that I want crunchy chicken. It seems to imply bones. I presume they mean some sort of crunchy batter. But something else I don't know. That's three things now. I'm curious. Gas here is $1.34 a liter. When we were in Prince Edward County, it was $1.14. So for some reason, it's 20 cents higher here, and yet we're a lot closer to the oil fields. So I don't know what the reason for that is. Of course, it's down because Carney, who's running for Liberals, was for a very few days Prime Minister and desperate to drum up votes. The carbon tax that the Liberals themselves put on knocked it down to zero so that gas prices would fall. But he could put it back up again whenever he wants, and given his various statements, I think it's quite likely the gas carbon taxes will rear their ugly head if the Liberals get elected today. Lots of things will rear their ugly head if the Liberals get elected. But perhaps I'm giving away how I voted, or at least how I didn't vote. Okay, Here's OK Tire. If you've watched me long enough, you already know how I'm voting, so, or have voted. I voted a week ago. Well, my car will be here, and I will go get it, and that will be the end of the walk. Actually, I'll stop right here, I think. So, thanks for walking with me. Bye for now.